Peter had this obnoxious way of withholding important information. He'd tell you half a story, give you some sliver of knowledge, then flash his wide-eyed, square-toothed grin at you and you knew what was coming next. It's no fun if I just tell you. Bastard. He'd been doing this for as long as I'd known him. We met through a mutual friend who actually had warned me of this annoying personality trait. Don't ask Peter anything because that's how he gets you. We grew close based on a mutual interest in horrible sci-fi B-movies, and a general inability to grow up and join everyone else in the great maze of cubicles they disappeared into. Basically, we were nerdy bums. Aside from his obsessive need to control conversations by leaving out important points, you'd never take him for a weirdo. Short, kinda husky, he'd barrel into the room with a warm hello and a strong handshake. Nobody who met him didn't like him. At least, not until they actually got to know him. After a few separate conversations with Peter, folks would magically become too busy to hang out. At one point, he actually seemed to have a chance with this young hairdresser. She was nuts. Short, crazy colored hair, equally short fuse, and the need to tell everyone within earshot about her recent bathroom habits. The two of them seemed to be just damaged enough to work. Then he told her about this new bar he had gone to, how he hung out there every night for a week and loved the place. When she asked why he stopped going, he grew that stupid grin. It's no fun if I just tell you. She checked the place out, essentially based on what seemed to be his recommendation. It turned out the management wasn't very on the ball when it came to health standards, and she spent a good chunk of the following month with some gut-racking cerbervirus. Peter had gotten the same thing there. That's why he'd stopped going. As you'd no doubt imagine, their relationship ended soon after, by virtue of being the only person who could stand Pete, and only because I knew how to talk to him without being duped. He eventually seemed to calm down around me. I could hold entire conversations with him, and much to the surprise of anyone who had met him, he'd actually behave like a normal person. That is, until the one time I slipped up. I was about to set off on a road trip to meet this girl I'd met online. Sounds silly, I know, going to meet someone I'd met. However, like with Peter and I, there was a variety of mutual interests we shared, and as far as I knew, she wasn't a little fat guy. So there's that. Peter had driven some of the same road I was talking, and was itching to tell me about this restaurant he'd found. He'd ooh and oh and bite his lip, wanting to tell me about how to find this place and how awesome it was. Eventually, I gave in and let him explain. It's called Honkers, he blurted out the second I gave the green light. It's a burger joint, but it's different from any place you've ever been. The food was great, oh the people were great, but the best part is that everyone is wearing... He paused. I leaned forward expectantly, then immediately realized what was coming and put my face in my hands. Well, it's no fun if I just tell you. I shoved him out of his chair, and he rolled around on the floor, laughing. Oh God! He was gasping for air between laughs. Oh God, I got you! I finally got you! Oh, this is the best! I leaned back in my own seat and smirked. Yeah, he got me. Seriously though, I don't want to get sick at this place. I tried to get the conversation back on track. You won't. God, I swear you won't. Well, what's the catch? What's going to go wrong? Nothing. You'll be surprised, but it's a good surprise. I can tell you that. It's good, and you'll thank me for sending you there. I wasn't really sure if I'd actually take the risk, but I jotted down the directions Peter gave me and assured him I'd check it out. Up Route 421, past the turnoff onto the College Street, turn left down to Bridgestone Road, 4 miles past the sit and stay, look for the big red Honkers sign. For a moment, I considered at some point telling him I'd been there, just to see what he said. If he knew I hadn't been there just by the virtue of being conscious and able to talk to him, that would be a strong clue about the surprise. Over the course of the long drive, a lot of ideas like that came to mind. It was a few hours, near nightfall, when my headlights caught the sign for Bridgestone Road. I only had a matter of seconds to finally decide that I was going to see what Peter had in store for me, and without actually giving it any real thought, found myself signaling to turn. I guess part of me wanted to find out if he valued our friendship, if he'd screw over his only friend, if by sticking by him this long didn't earn me a little respect and care for my well-being, then maybe he wasn't worth all that time, you know? I referred to my note a few times, found myself disoriented as I never passed a sit and stay, and as a matter of fact, I wasn't passing anything but overgrown vacant lots and untouched spans of forest. In my mind, I was debating over whether everything had closed down since Peter had been through here, or whether this was the surprise, an entirely fabricated restaurant in a make-believe town. A short distance away, the large yellow and white sign loomed over above the tree line. Honkers. Alright, so it was there. Or at least the sign still was.